According to the most recent reports and speculations, Adrian Newey's significant move to Aston Martin has been confirmed. Over the course of 3 years, the mastermind behind Formula One design will earn a total of $100 million. However, he is not the only one moving in a green direction. They might be putting together a club that has the potential to win a championship. Former Red Bull Formula One driver Robert Dornbos believes that Newey will have a significant amount of influence over the manner in which Aston Martin races its vehicles. The reason being that Ferrari did not provide the 65-year-old with what he desired. On May 1st, Newey made the announcement that he will be departing Red Bull at the beginning of the 2020s. He has been in charge of the success of the firm with drivers such as Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen ever since he joined the team that is situated in Milton Keynes in the year 2006. Eddie Newey's management coordinated the conditions of his departure with Eddie Newey, who had previously owned a Formula One team, failing to take the typical time off for gardening, which is a requirement for many Formula One employment. Newey will be allowed to have a role in the design of the 2026 car that his new team will use, which might provide them with a significant advantage prior to the significant rule changes that will be implemented in Formula One during that season. For a considerable amount of time, Ferrari was considered to be the most likely candidate to get Newey's services. However, in recent months, there have been whispers circulating that Aston Martin is the most likely destination for the most decorated individual in the history of Formula One. 12 victories as a constructor and 13 championships as a driver. A week ago, there were whispers circulating in Italy that Newey had made the decision to join Aston Martin. On Monday, Dornbos made the announcement on LinkedIn that the transaction had reached its final stage. Dornbos claims that Newey's salary would increase by a factor of 2 if he were to join Aston Martin, where he had agreed to a 3-year contract worth $100 million. It is anticipated that the news will be made public the following month. The author is Dornbos. Has finally reached its conclusion. For a period of 3 years, Newey will receive a total of $100 million from the deal, which is twice as much as he made at Red Bull. In addition to that, he will have a significant amount of input over the technological decisions. It is likely that the high-tech elements of the brand new Aston Martin plant, which went into operation a year ago, were what drew him to the facility. One of these features is a wind tunnel. In September, the official announcement is anticipated to be made. A driver who started 11 Grands Prix for Red Bull between the years 2005 and 2006 reportedly stated that Newey's negotiations with Ferrari failed because the team's boss, Fred Vasseur, refused to comply to Newey's demands for further compensation and power. According to him, Newey had a great deal of ambitions. He demanded that he be paid twice as much as he was making at Red Bull and that he be given more authority over the technical staff. The negotiations eventually came to an end because Frederic Vasseur, who was in charge of Ferrari's squad, found this to be an excessive amount of pressure. Should it be the case, Newey would become a member of the technical staff at Silverstone, which is comprised of an assortment of well-known individuals. The proprietor of the team, Lawrence Stroll, has a strong desire for the team to establish itself as a formidable competitor in Formula One. Andy Cowell, a former Mercedes engine expert, and Enrico Cardilli, a former Ferrari tech chief, were also among the individuals that Aston Martin hired in the past month. After Aston Martin made the announcement that it would collaborate with Honda, the company that manufactures engines for Red Bull, beginning with the 2026 Formula One season, these well-known hires were made. There are more people within Formula One who are claiming that the move has been made, despite the fact that this may lead you to believe that the report is coming from just one person. In fact, Fernando Alonso was informed by Pedro de la Rosa, an advocate for Aston Martin, that Adrian Newey, a genius in Formula One design, will be joining the team. A representative for Aston Martin named De La Rosa and a driver named Alonso battled against one another in Dizan's The Taboo Game. There is a possibility that De La Rosa was unintentionally providing Newey with vital information regarding his destiny. I believe that you will find him to be very appealing. Following this realization, De La Rosa said, "Alonso, you'll really like him." De La Rosa had made a mistake in his actions. During that moment, both of the Spanish individuals laughed out loud, with Alonso expressing his belief to De La Rosa that the individual in question was referring to another individual. As the two of them laughed once more, De La Rosa stated, "Yes, we are going to put an end to this game right away. Now is the time for it to be official, right? Do you have any thoughts?" The competition, on the other hand, is not yet finished for Aston Martin. But the thing that really matters is not who is faster right now, rather, it is who will be faster tomorrow. They are aware of this as well. Additionally, this is a challenge that every single Formula One driver who has switched teams has had to grapple with, communicating with their inner spirit in order to determine what will occur. One of the most recent race drivers to be asked to speculate on what the next generation of Formula One cars will look like when they are put into practice is Max Verstappen. After the news of Newey's retirement was made public early on May 1, 2024, Red Bull has only been victorious in 3 of the 9 races that have followed till that point. During the first few weeks of the year 2023, Red Bull remained the most dominant team in Formula One. In the wake of Newey's resignation, Jonathan Wheatley, who had served as Red Bull's sporting director for a significant amount of time and was responsible for the team's extraordinary pit stop records, also departed. If it hasn't already been obvious, it is becoming increasingly apparent that the end of an era, or at the very least the end of the golden years of the team, is drawing nigh. It is without a doubt that they will continue to win numerous races. The year 2024 will mark the year that Red Bull will have lost something that cannot be defined or stated, and it will be difficult to regain. In spite of the fact that his contract allows him to remain, Verstappen might have to depart in the near future if he wishes to continue to maintain his position as a world champion over the long term. However, where is it? The majority of people cite Mercedes because, well, it is a Mercedes, and they are the only team currently competing that has a record that is even remotely comparable to that of Red Bull. Due to the fact that Mercedes triumphed in the previous instance of Formula One modifying its engine rules, which occurred 10 years ago, and will occur once more in 2026. This laid the groundwork for 8 years of domination that was nearly uninterrupted. In the event that Verstappen believes that he leaped to a different rock in order to escape falling off the cliff with Red Bull, Mercedes appears to be a very safe location to land. In such case, Aston Martin will be required to make significant adjustments to the rules. According to reports that were published in Italian media on Tuesday, says he has his sights set on working at Aston Martin in the forthcoming years. Early in the month of September, a statement is anticipated. Over the course of the last 6 months, there have been numerous reports indicating that Aston Martin was able to secure Newey's services by outbidding their rivals. In accordance with the rules of his departure from Red Bull, Newey will be able to begin working for his new firm the next year. It is highly possible that he will play a significant role in the creation of the Lucky Team's 2022 car. At the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix race in Jeddah, which took place this year, it is stated that Newey and Stroll met. It is also said that the owner of an Aston Martin made an extraordinary offer of $100 million spread out over a period of 4 years. It is possible that this may soon become a part of Formula One history. When it comes to joining Ferrari, the romantic does not really have a choice because if he is ever going to join, it is either now or never. On the other hand, if Aston Martin is eventually successful in reuniting Newey with its engine partners in the year 2026, the list of clubs that are interested in signing Verstappen will also include them at the top of the list. Aston Martin could benefit from Newey's experience and knowledge of how to get the most out of Honda just as much as they would from his expertise in technology. It is obvious that Newey is very brilliant at technology. In the years between 2015 and 2017, Red Bull was able to successfully manage their relationship with Honda and prevent a potentially devastating clash of cultures. This was the reason why Red Bull was able to achieve success where McLaren had failed so severely. In the year 2018, Red Bull struck the correct chord and made the most of the capabilities of their engine partners that they had. It was possible for them to fight for the crown once more in the year 2021, and then they were able to resume their dominant ways at the beginning of the ground effect era. The announcement that Aston Martin had formed a partnership with Honda the previous year was regarded as a pivotal moment in the company's pursuit of the championship. However, the question that was continually being asked was whether or not the squad, which was driven by Mr. Stroll's financial support. Because of their emotional intelligence, they were able to make it work. The addition of Newey, if it were to be granted, would guarantee that they do. As he watches all of this unfold, what thoughts must be going through Max's head? There is a great deal of excitement surrounding the idea that these two significant members of Red Bull's Holy Trinity are going to reunite at Aston Martin. Up until recently, racers like Verstappen were considered to be at risk when driving an Aston Martin because the brand has only been operating for a relatively short period of time. It is full of promise, but there are too many unknowns for people who are already driving winning vehicles to commit to it while they are already driving winning cars. Putting Newey and Honda together, on the other hand, would almost entirely eliminate that danger. It would allow him to take up where he left off with only him, Adrian, and Honda, creating magic together in real time before things went awry at Red Bull. In order to demonstrate that Aston Martin has the potential to become the new Red Bull, they would need to make a compelling argument for Max to join and complete the set, beginning in 2026 when the new era of Formula One begins. To put it another way, it would be like putting the band back together except with more money. Is it possible for you to observe this happening? Please share your thoughts by filling out the form below.